What's up, Everyday Blades? Well, I have always, as most of you know, been a huge fan of the Wicked Edge, but it has a fatal flaw, and I want to talk about it today, and hopefully some of you have come up with an answer to this, because I have not. So, on the original Wicked Edge Go, it had this clamp, and on full flat grinds it even worked okay, because it kind of cambered against itself. It could pitch against the knife, right? When you had a big, thick, full flat grind. But eventually, the knife would still move on you, but eventually from tightening it down so much, the screw finally worked its way all the way through, and I had to modify it here. And I got them to send me another one. I have a brand new one in there, but I don't have the Wicked Edge Go anymore. I moved up to about a year ago, I moved up to the Wicked Edge Pro. And though the convenience of this is awesome, the clamp sucks. If you're just doing a knife that has a nice big flat like that, it's not too bad. So you put your clamp in here, your depth finder, and you clamp it down. Let me move these. Clamp it down, and it's got pretty good bite. And it takes a little bit of force to move the knife. It'll still move on you. You got to be careful. I mean, you just got to lightly touch it with the stones, which is not optimal sometimes. But if you got something like this that has a kind of a janky flat on it or a full flat grind, you put this in there, clamp it down. That's as tight as it'll go, right? Barely touch it and it'll move. I mean, and from running the stones on the blade like that, it's going to move on you. So, it's not that bad when it's new. The older it gets, the worse it gets. I find myself, see, it's already below the holes. This won't even go through there. I find myself putting this in here, working one side, taking it out, sticking in there, working this up. Let me tell you, that completely defeats the purpose of the Wicked Edge. It's a ridiculous flaw. I don't understand. It has a setting back here, right here, to tighten it, right? And I have it all the way on the tightest setting. But on some of these knives, it doesn't matter how much you tighten it. It's only grabbing it in a small spot. I'm curious. I'm thinking about switching sharpeners. I mean, I've been using this Wicked Edge for years, and I'm sick of it. I have too many knives that are full flat grind that you get halfway through sharpening and realize your knife has moved, an eighth, and then you mess the whole bevel up. You got to start over. Or even if you get 5 minutes into it, it's a pain. And having to take this and swap it back and forth every time. I mean, when you go through 10 different grits, that can make for a lot of work to sharpen a knife. I mean, this system is awesome. Being able to adjust your angle, and then micro adjust your angle here. Everything works great, except that dreaded clamp. And when you put your stone on here and you're working your stone against it, you're gonna put some pressure against that knife. I don't care who you are. You're eventually gonna put a little bit of pressure on there, and it's gonna move the knife. You find yourself constantly putting the angle finder on it. That's not optimum for something that cost over $1,000. So, I'm wondering if the Test Prof, whatever it is, the Russian knife sharpener, or the KME is better. Those are probably the only two knife sharpeners I haven't tried. I've tried several of them, but they weren't as good as this one, right? I really like the Wicked Edge stones. Let me show you an example. Wicked Edge has really good stones. I mean, you can see the diamonds there. This is the 100, 200. I mean, these things eat. They do a great job. The sad part about it is, I got $1,000 in this, and I got probably $1,500 in stones. So it really sucks to have to change. I'm hoping one of you guys has a fix for this. Some type of different clamp, or I've even thought about trying to take it apart and modify it and put my old clamp from my Wicked Edge Go on there, but man, that would suck to have to do that. let me know. I mean, most knives, you're just not going to have that nice flat on there. I mean, there's a lot of them that you do, but even like that one, it wouldn't grab that. It would walk right out of there. That's not enough flat for it. And for a system that costs this much, that's just not, it's not acceptable. I need something that's consistent, something that's not going to move on me and walk. I mean, you're putting pretty good effort into sharpening the knife, and it takes a long time. If you find out halfway through your angle has changed on you, you're screwed. And you could really mess up a good knife. So you find yourself constantly checking it every, 10 strokes. And man, there's nothing good about that. So let me know if one of you guys has come up with something for that. I looked on their website hoping that they would, I know I'm not the only one that has this issue. I was hoping they would come up with a fix, another type of vise or something that guys can buy. They did send me this. These actually do help a little bit. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I think they're like $15 for some cardboard. You put this in there, and instead of it being aluminum on, stainless steel, that cardboard in there gives it a little bit better bite. That does help, but it's not optimal. It doesn't work like it should. And like I said, when these things are new, they work pretty good, but it doesn't take long for them to start failing. So let me know if you guys have come up with an answer. Hopefully so. There's a lot of smart guys out there in the knife community. Thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. God bless you and your families. Say a prayer for our country.